Hello, good evening, and thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of Chew Your Water. I have quite the podcast coming to you guys today. This is actually a request that came to me from one of my first episodes, a dear friend of mine who I met late last year at a vendor event at Moonphase Boutique in Yorkville. My friend Sarah asked if I would please give some information about the lymphatic system. And oh my gosh, was I so excited to get that request, as this is one of my favorite things to talk about, the lymphatic system. Hi, my name is Chrissy Carroll. I am your local health and wellness coach, here bringing you all the best information. We are slowing things down with the Chew Your Water podcast, where we get to the root of the issue and we talk about real information. So, what is the lymphatic system? Well, that's your sewer system. It is literally the sewer drainage system that runs through your whole entire body. If you can imagine what a gutter looks like along the street, or at the top of your house, the gutters. That's what your lymphatic system is. And where is this system? It's everywhere in your body. It touches everything. Now, your most important parts of it are going to be in places like your armpits, your groin, your intestines are full of lymph. But it touches every single thing. You're going to have it behind your knees as well. It touches every single part of your body, as it is literally the waste system. So why is this important for us to know about? Because it is the only system in your body that does not have a pump. It is the only system that runs through your whole entire body that you are responsible for working on it and keeping it moving. And I get asked a lot, well, okay, how do you do that? Why would you do that? What do you do? And what if I don't do that? Well, if you don't do that, that's the cause of your body odor, and that's the cause of cancer, and that's the cause of stagnation and cellulite and being overweight in your body. Most people in the United States are carrying anywhere from 20 to 100 pounds of garbage. When people say, oh, I'm so fat, well, what makes up that fat? Because your body, your muscles are only so big. Your bones are only so big. So what makes up that fat? It's garbage. It's waste that needs to be removed from you. So we talk about stagnancy with the lymph system and why that's an issue. So, when you're driving down the street and you see garbage collected into the gutter, and you see where the drain is, and then there's a big storm that happens, right? And the street floods because the drain is clogged with garbage. That's your lymphatic system in your body. You have to keep it moving, otherwise it becomes stagnant like that. Now, once the street becomes stagnant, the water is not moving, it's just sitting and pooling, what's the next thing that happens when the water has been sitting there for a long time? Now you're growing bugs and you're growing all types of larvae and everything else in there that just fungus. It's nasty and gross. Guess what? You're doing that inside your body as well. You literally are creating an environment that is conducive to cancer growth. So the stagnation that happens in these areas, now the next thing that we see with it, it leads to odor. So people who say to me, well, I can't use your deodorant because I need a prescription strength. No, you don't. You need lymph moved. You absolutely do not need a prescription strength of deodorant. Your body is a self-cleaning system. God designed us that way for a reason, but you have to work with it. You have to treat it appropriately. And because this system does not have its own pump, you are responsible for moving that stagnation. So the odor now is it's a precursor. It's a warning sign. So people who say to me, I just have such bad body odor. Yeah, and I bet your lymphatic system is nasty, disgusting, and clogged. And that's your biggest issue. Now, all of that stuff leads to cancer. If you have ever been around somebody with cancer, they have a different smell to them. When that cancer has taken over and it's really, really going through the system, you can smell that. That is a stagnant lymph system that has allowed things to grow. So how do we care for it? I'm so glad you asked. There are several different things that we do to care for it. The first thing that I'm going to tell you about doing is the Big Six drainage, which is going to help your lymph system to move. It's a bit of a massage type thing that you're going to do to your body. So you're going to start with, you're going to make your hands into fists. And I will share with you guys on Instagram. You can go to my Instagram page, Essential Goddess 2024. And when you go on there, you will find this video under lymph in the highlights where you'll see me actually do this. And if I can post, actually I'm going to post a video attached to this as well, because I can post a 90-second clip. So I'll post a video to this as well so that you guys can see how to do this, but I'm going to explain it right now. So you're going to take your hands and make them into fists, and you're going to put those just above your pelvis, just right at the right above your hip flexors at your low abdomen. And you're just going to gently pound, boom, 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 hit it a few times. You are opening up 2 of the drains. Now you're going to go up to the top of your chest, and you're going to go just below your collarbones. And again, you're going to boom, 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 just pound on it a little bit. You might be able to hear me doing it to myself right now. You're just going to give it some taps, wake it up, and open up those drains. Now you're going to use a dry brush, and I use my dry brush in the shower when I'm wet. I'm not super particular about being dry when I'm dry brushing. I just want to make sure that lymph is moving. So you're going to take that dry brush, and you're going to start down by your ankles, and you're going to brush up, 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 all the way around your leg, the whole circumference. Now you're going to get to the back of your knee and really brush up, up, up on the back of that knee. You're going to come up your thigh to your hips, and you're going to brush all of that into that drain that you just opened in your lower abdomen. Now you're going to do the left side the same. Start with the ankle, come up, up, up. You're going to go to the back of your knee, brush up, up, up. Make sure that all of that moves really good. Bring it up to your hip and over to that drain that we just opened. Now you're going to go to your arms, and you're going to start at your wrist, and you're brushing up to your shoulder. We're bringing everything up and to those 2 drains at the top. So you're going from your wrist to your elbow, up, 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 from your elbow to your shoulder, up, up, up. Now we're going to get into that armpit, because that is a major, major lymph center. Sorry, not production center, lymph center that is grabbing everything as it goes through. This is also why I have created my own deodorant, and why I have talked to people so heavily about stop buying deodorant with aluminum in it. Stop buying deodorant that is full of fragrance. You don't need that. If you are keeping your lymph system moving properly, and you're keeping your diet alkaline and restrictive of a lot of preservatives and junk like that doesn't belong in our body anyways, you're not going to smell. I promise you. However, my deodorant does help to also clear out your lymph system, as it has bentonite clay in it. So it's constantly pulling things from your lymph system. So I also tell people the first 7 to 10 days that you're using Essential Goddess deodorant, you're going to smell. Because I guarantee you that A, you have not moved your own lymph, and I know for a fact that your deodorant that you're currently using is simply clogging it. So for the first 7 to 10 days that you use it, you're going to smell. It's pulling things out of there. So now, let's go back to how we're doing the brush system. So you're brushing from your wrist to your elbow. Now we're getting into that beautiful armpit that has your Essential Goddess deodorant on it, in it, and has been pulling stuff out of it. And you want to brush from the outside of your armpit in, the outside of your armpit in, and do that several times. work that area, pump that area, and move it to those drains that are just under your collarbone. Now, this is my next favorite part. I get asked a lot, what type of makeup do you use? I don't use a lot of makeup, if I'm being totally honest, because my skin looks very good because I do this routine. And this part of it is especially important for those of us who suffer from allergies, for those of us who have bags under the eyes, for those of us who have fine lines and wrinkles. This is your Botox without Botox. I promise you that if you start doing this every day and change your diet and change your mental habits of thinking that you're not good enough, I promise you that you will take 7 years off your life, off the age of your face, not off your life, off the age of your face. You're going to look so much better. So this is how you're going to do the next step. We've already opened our drains up for just below our collarbone, right? So now you're going to take your fingers and you're going to go above your eyebrows. You're going to start in the middle and brush out, out, out. You're going to go underneath your eyes, starting at your nose, and brush out, out, out. You're going under your nose on that upper lip and brush out, out, out. Under your bottom lip, on your chin area, you're going to brush out, out, out. And this one is important. You want to use 2 fingers with that. You want to use your thumb and your pointer finger, your index finger, and your middle finger also. So you're going to use your index finger, your middle finger, and your thumb. And you're just going to make a little triangle. And you're going to go along that bottom jaw. Go along that bone that you can feel there. Now, you're going to go down the neck. And you're just swiping with your fingers gently down your neck. And you're bringing all of that down. And you will feel it. You will feel the stagnation moving. For those of you who have sinus issues, this is a must-do daily. You need to help move your sinuses, and in turn, you need to help move your lymph at the same time to get all of that stagnation out of there. So that big 6 that I have just described to you is a main thing that you must do every other day, every third day. I mean, do it every day, honestly. But at least every other day, you should be doing that routine to move your lymph. So what else can you do? Vibration plates are a very, very big thing right now. And I see that everybody has a vibration plate. And I'm excited about that on the lymph side. However, I also deal with the nervous system as a health coach. And what I need to share with you is that if you do not have a toned nervous system, if you do not have a regulated nervous system, you should not be on the vibration plate. It is simply too much for your nervous system to handle all of that jostling. There are many other ways that you can clear your lymph without getting on the vibration plate. However, if you are regulated, if you feel grounded and good, and you know that you need to be moving that lymph, get on the vibration plate. Stand on it, sit on it, lay on it. We have a lot of lymph in our abdomen. That's an area that I missed with the dry brushing. With that, you want to just simply go to underneath the breast line because you've done everything up to that point into those 2 drains. But now you want to go to the breast line and go down, and you're brushing that down to those bottom ports that you have in your lower abdomen. And the vibration plate is excellent for that. If you can get on there for 10 minutes a day and really let that lymph work its way out of you, drinking good fluids with that. Notice I did not say water. I'm not going to tell you to drink water. Your lymphatic system is not strictly water. And if you just dump plain water in there, now you're also taking out the things that belong there. And you're disrupting the rest of your body, your circulation, by putting thin, plain water in. You're removing electrolytes. You're removing minerals that you need to have there. So please make sure that you are putting good structured water in. Your body is structured water. Your body is not plain chlorinated, clear water at all. it has lots of things floating around in it. So make sure that you are putting fluids back in that support that system. And we'll talk about a little bit more about that in a minute. But the other thing that you want to do besides the vibration plate is I created a lymph stick, which helps your body to move that when you're doing your big six and your dry brushing. And I created that with 2 essential oils that I did research on that are excellent for the lymph system. And that first one is cypress, which is, it's just the cypress tree. But the essential oil that comes from that is an excellent decongestant and stimulant as well. So I started with a base of cypress to act as the stimulant. So you're going to put that in your armpits, in your groin, behind your knees. You're going to use that first and really rub it in, and then you're going to dry brush. The other oil that I put in that is orange essential oil. When we're working with lymph, there's some fat in there, there's some sticky, there's some yuck, so you want to thin that down so that it moves easier. So the citrus from the orange oil goes in and it thins down that yuck, mess, gunk that's in there, and then the cypress acts to push it through and stimulate the nervous system to help it move. It also acts as a detox. So the combination of those are excellent. They work great together. It smells wonderful. You can put that on before you go to bed at night. You can put it on before your deodorant. You can put it on after your deodorant, whatever you're good with. So let's talk about some foods that will help with this also. You want to make sure that what you're putting into your body is as organic as possible. We don't want chemicals on our food that gets into your lymph system. And some of the chemicals that are put on these foods and in our clothing and whatnot, they're called forever chemicals, meaning that it takes forever for them to go away. They're very, very, very difficult to break down and go away if they can be broken down at all. So having those in your lymph system, it's very important that you know this, that you know what those products are. So let's talk about foods to avoid first of all. So fake food. For instance, I used to grocery shop at Aldi. I loved Aldi. Their prices were lower, and look at that. Everything just looks so fresh. So I started buying fruits from there and sticking them in my fridge. And there was one container of raspberries that I had put in there, and I had forgotten about them because they got pushed to the back of the fridge. Well, I was cleaning out the fridge one day, and I found this container of raspberries, and they were perfectly normal. There was no mold. They had not broken down at all. They were exactly as they had been in there from like 3 weeks prior. That is not okay. The idea of putting that into my body, a food that can't be broken down when it is exposed to the air like it should, now how is that going to break down inside my body? It's just not. Or my body is going to have to work 1,000,000 times harder to break that down. So you want to make sure that what you're putting in is real, solid, whole foods. Preservatives, again, that is something that is going to create stagnation in your lymph system. It is typically forever type stuff. It's very, very difficult to get rid of, and it's just not necessary. You don't need preservatives in your body until it's time to put you in the ground. And even then that's questionable. But you don't need to be preserved now. They're finding that bodies are not breaking down like they used to because you're going to the grave with so much preservative already in your system. So be very, very aware of the food, where it's coming from. Go to farms and buy real food. Go find a cow farm near you and buy half a cow and split it with other family members so that you know where it's coming from. Because if it's coming from the grocery store, I guarantee you it's a mess. I guarantee you it is a chemical toxic mess. There are plenty, of farms around here. My favorite for fruits and vegetables is opening up soon on April 22nd, and that is Bronkberry Farms in Plainfield. I am so excited. In the summer, I get all of my fruits and vegetables from there. I stock up for the fall and winter so I can have as much stuff that is natural and grown well and by people who actually care about it. So super important to talk about your local farms and to find places that you know that you can get real food from. So now what foods should you be eating for your lymph system? Let's eat some things that are nourishing to our lymph system and that help it to move itself. Number one, leafy greens. Good leafy greens. Get that good fiber in there. That gets in the lymph system and it helps it to move. Citrus. We talked about that earlier with the lymph stick. You want to get citrus into your body. That helps to break down that oily, fatty substance that's trying to run through that gutter system in your body. Fruits, again, fruits and berries. Roughage, get that fiber into your system so that it's number one, food that your body can recognize and knows how to work with. It knows where to put it and how to deal with it. So it's going to put it into the waste system of your lymphatic drainage system. And then those fruits and berries and citrus food is going to go to work for you. You're eating food that is going to go to work for you once you put it inside of there. Ginger, very, very important. Another one that helps to bring down inflammation because our lymph system is typically inflamed. And you will see this on people. You can tell someone who's very inflamed. I know this because I was. I had a very, very stagnant, messy lymphatic system once upon a time. And that was due to medications that I was taking. That was due to my lifestyle. I was very extremely sedentary. That was due to emotions that I was holding on to that I was not dealing with, stress that I was living through. All of these things play a role, and the food that I was eating. It was a mess. So I started incorporating ginger tea, real ginger into my food and just to ingest it. Turmeric. Oh, how I love turmeric. Remember the scrubbing bubbles commercials of the shower cleaner and the little scrubbing bubbles would go around? That's what ginger, turmeric, and garlic are to me for the lymphatic system. They're little scrubbing bubbles that just get in there and they get into all the little cracks and crevices and they say, come on, garbage, you're coming with us. And it just moves it right out of there. So these foods are all very, very important. What you are doing to your body, what you are putting in your body, and what you are putting on your body. This is why I created my product line. Because what you are putting on your body goes directly into your lymphatic system. I will say that again louder for the people who did not hear me in the back. What you are putting on your body goes directly into your lymphatic system. Would you go outside and pour gasoline and oil down the gutter? Absolutely not. Because you know that it's toxic to that system. And you know that when it gets to the drain, it's going to cause a whole lot of problems. So why would you go and put these chemicals on your body that have been very, very well studied and made known that they are toxic to the lymphatic system? What am I talking about? Perfume. Your endocrine system and your lymphatic system hate perfume. Hate it. Nothing makes your lymphatic system go, oh, okay, you know what? I don't want to work for you anymore because now I can't breathe and I'm choking to death because there's all this perfume stuff that isn't even real. Most perfumes are not real. This is why I work with essential oils, because it's the lifeblood of the plant. It's something that your body can recognize. Whereas these perfumes that people are using, cologne, all of those, the body sprays, the lotions, all of that stuff, it is just simply a lymphatic system clogger. It's like pouring motor oil into the lymphatic system and expecting it to work. It's not going to work that way. So you have to be very aware of what you're putting on your system as well, on your body, in your body, around your body. What you have surrounding you affects your lymphatic system as well. What's in your air affects it. So if you have a bunch of plug-ins plugged in all around your house and you burn toxic candles, your lymphatic system is not going to be able to work as well to break down whatever food you're putting into your system and the emotions and everything else that go along with it, because it's trying to fight off these chemicals that don't belong inside of it. Your lymphatic system is super important. It has a lot of, I would say, moving parts, but they're not moving parts. You are responsible for moving those parts. And it's not that hard to do. These are small things that you can add in. I talked in my last episode about neuroplasticity and breaking habits and building habits. And this is simply something that you need to build as a habit. Once I started doing these things, brushing my big six, using my vibration plate, using my lymph stick that I created, and eating better, once I started doing all those things, I'm not kidding you when I tell you, it looks like 7 years has been shaved off my face. Not my life. Off my face. I look 7 years younger. And people are complimenting me constantly and asking me, what makeup do you use? And it just makes me laugh. It's not about a Band-Aid that I slapped over my face and walked out the door and felt better about me. This is hard work. I have changed my whole entire routine of my life to make sure that I am supporting my nervous system and my lymphatic system. Because when those two are running well, you cannot have cancer. You do not have body odor. You do not have bad breath. None of it. It all goes away. You think clearly. You make sound, good decisions. But you have to support these systems within your body. God put them there. He created them so incredibly beautifully with all of these intricate little details, and all you need to do is change your daily habits and give it a little bit of love. That's it. Thank you so much for joining me today for this amazing episode of Chew Your Water. I can't wait to see you on the next one. Have a great week.